mean it's about to f your mom. Daddy, the things that I have read in this book. Selene, do I think she's a bad mom? A little bit. Hello friends. I simply like must do an update, even though I'm not very far through this book, but I need to tell you what's going on. I'm gonna chat with you while I do my makeup. Basically, we have our main character and she's a mom and she's a girl mom, but she's like very judgy. Like this is like, I wouldn't go so far as to call her a Karen. I feel like that's a little mean. She's not like other moms. Like if there's not like other girls, she's not like other moms. And maybe she's a cool mom. Anyway, she gets like roped into taking her daughter to this, what is it called? August Moon concert. I keep on calling it Austin Moon because like Austin and Ally, like it's the same freaking thing. Which is like also like, let me know if you ever thought Austin and Ally was based on like fan fiction, because like I feel like it's kind of, but this is obviously based on fan fiction, or it is fan fiction. What do you mean? It's based on real life? No way this happened. So she gets like roped into taking her daughter and her friends to this August Moon concert, which she like doesn't want to go to. Her like ex-husband was supposed to go, and she's like her ex-husband's now dating like this hot young bitch, and she's very like upset about it. She's clearly like not over the divorce, and she was supposed to like have a weekend off and like be a girl, just be a girl, and that's not happening. So now she has to take them to this concert, and so she goes to Vegas and she takes them to this concert, and they of course have like the full package, and they go to the meet and greet and they're taking the pictures, and of course this guy, what's his name, Hayes Campbell maybe, already is like flirting with her. He's like, oh my god, is that your sister? He's like, come join the photo. And then he's like, where are you sitting? He's just like actively so interested in this mom's life. And what gagged me is that she was like, I'm 40, I'm like in my 40s era. He could not be more than 19. And I'm like, I'm getting like a little concerned for this age difference. I guess like, I don't know what I expected, because like, I do know like One Direction at the height of their fame, like a lot of them were really young, but like, I don't know, I thought they were gonna be like older in this version, but they're not. They're still like 19, which is honestly children to me. Like that's a little concerning to me, myself, and I. Okay, I also meant to mention this, but I forgot, because just so much is going on in this book already. This mom, what's her name? I keep calling her the mom, and like I feel like that's rude and demeaning of her. Solene? She's 39. Oh, why'd she say she's 40, girl? Age down. Anyway, she is very like, she really looks down upon all these like young girls that are at this concert, which I think is really funny. Like she's like trying to build herself up to be like better, I guess, than them, because she's like, oh, look at all these girls, they think they're gonna fall in love with these guys, and like it's very like the call is coming from inside the house, like she is gonna fall in love with this guy, you know what I mean? So yeah, she's just like, these teeny boppers, like what are they doing? Like I saw the Backstreet Boys back in my day, and like that was crazy, and like girl, like also like this is your child. Like it's kind of funny how much she like, when she feels like a mom, I guess, but like she doesn't really care about like her child's interests. Like she's like, she doesn't know the names of the guys in the band. She like is like, oh, they're so stupid singing and dancing, and like one of the girls said something, she was like, oh, this song speaks to my soul, and I was like, I definitely said that. That's accurate. I don't know, I feel like, I mean, yeah, it's stupid, but like Selene, just you wait until anyway, I guess it's like, the funny thing about this book is like, so far it's not like bad. I just feel like I'm reading like an inside like a young girl's mom's head, you know, about One Direction, where they're like, I'm also in love with them. Because, you know, I didn't really think about that when like in the height of One Direction, I was never thinking like, oh, like anyone other than teen girls love them. That's incorrect. That's incorrect. This fan fiction stands to reason that that is incorrect. So I still am not very far. Just basically they have asked them to come backstage with them after the concert, and all the girls are like, this is serious now. This is serious, which it is. I mean, who does this happen to? Like besides Carolina, like I don't know who this happens to. If you got that Harry Styles reference, you're a winner. Just saying. Oh little boy, if I could show you the things I know. That's crazy. That's a crazy line. That's a crazy sentence. What? Okay, so this man is 20. This man, Harry Styles, the Harry Styles lookalike, is 20, and they're arranging a date. They're arranging a meet up after the concert, like a week later. And he's like, I'm in LA. because she's from LA. Her name is Solène also, by the way. She's French. I don't know. But she's like, let's get drinks. And she's like, oh, he's literally a child. He's 20. He can't get drinks. And that's crazy. But they're gonna go get lunch at a fancy little place. And she's like, it's just lunch. And he's like, we shall see. And I'm just like, the weird thing about this book is like, I'm eating it up. Like, I'm absolutely like eating it up. But I'm also kind of like, this is a little bit gross. This is a little bit problematic. This is a little bit sus. But I also am eating it up. I'm also kind of loving it. There's something about like, I don't know, like I have so much like nostalgia for the like One Direction fame at time. It's really like nostalgic for me. Like I've seen This Is Us so many times that I'm just like, okay, like I kind of love how much people have latched on to this like boy band as a phenomenon and have like made, like it's weird. Like I'm not gonna be like, let's read After Next, but like I think it's like really interesting. Like I read a book about like fandoms and stuff, and like there's really just like, it's really crazy how this happened. Like how this, I'm not really articulating very well, but I just think it's crazy. But look, it's crazy, it's silly, it's goofy. It's reading like we're reading like mom book right now. It's not reading like romancy book, it's reading like chick litty, I guess, because it's like more grounded, I feel. But I'm interested to see like how much like romance book it goes, and also like how steamy it gets, because that's not really my vibe. However, I know that the movie's rated R, so I'm like, it must get like there. And our main character Solène did talk about how she's been not celibate by choice for 3 years. POV, you're me listening to this book. I'm just like walking around doing chores, listening to The Idea of You. And it is so crazy. Like I was just thinking about it, and I know I was saying, I was like, it's really like weird for me to think of like One Direction, or like in this case August Moon fans, to be anything other than like teenage girls, because like now we're obviously grown up and like that was like a thing of our youth, you know? But like this character, she's not like other girls, Solène, whatever the fuck her name is, and she's very much not like other girls because she wasn't a fan. It's giving starstruck. But her daughter is a fan, and so like she's in the car with her daughter, and like she's about to go on this trip to like meet up with Hayes, and she's like, her daughter's listening to this song and she's like, oh, his voice is so sexy. And it's like, that man is about to fuck your mom. Like, what? That's crazy. I'm sorry I'm giggling, but it's so funny to me. Like, it's really silly. Yeah, like the situation is so silly because it's so like YN coded. It's like, it reads like fan fiction. Like it doesn't read, I don't know, there's something about like suspending your disbelief in something that's like is so much more in fan fiction than it is in like regular literature, I feel. But I don't read a lot of fan fiction, so I can't really like speak to that. But it is like, it's super flirty. Like they are so intensely flirting with each other like every second they're together. I'm like 16% into it. They're just getting to like physically being together, but like even their flirting was so intense. It was so intense. Now I feel they're gonna go for it, I think. So we shall see. But yeah, it's it's so silly, but it's so fun. And I just like, I can't stop picturing Anne Hathaway saying these like crazy lines. Like I'm like, Annie, what are you doing? Oh my god, this is wild. Not her measuring his age based on how old he was when the freaking Twin Towers got. Oh my god. Not the 9/11 reference, I can't. The thing about me is I'm like never removing these headphones because I am always wearing them. I really like Hayes' character. He's so perfect. Like, it's very like unrealistic for a 20-year-old man. Like, I've met a fair few being 21 myself, and I can speak from experience that they don't act like how this man is acting. Like, he is so nice, so considerate, thoughtful, lovely. He's so nice. And I'm just like, only men in fiction. You know what I mean? Like, where do these men exist? In fiction. And that's about it. But it's kind of like he's the perfect man, which I think is like, not that I'm keeping comparing this to After, but like, that man is so rude and like mean, and like his whole thing is like starting a bet about like having sex with a girl. Like, that's horrible. And this like version of Harry Styles is so nice, and like I love him. I love him a little bit. I think he's so sweet. He's really into cougars though, which is kind of weird. I was gonna say like, where do I find a man like this? And then I was like, oh, they're going after 40-year-old women, so that's like why I'm not getting that. So I'm gonna go read some more of this book and go on a walk, and having a goofy blast, TBH. probably take back what I said about Hayes being a nice guy, but I do have to say, every other scene is sex. Every other one. So it's a lot for me. I'm a little grossed out. Okay, so I'm over halfway through the book, and here's the update. Basically, like, I don't feel the need to, like, keep you in the loop of, like, every little place. Like, they're traveling, they're going to Paris, they're going to Cannes, that's also in France, film festival. And then they went to other place in like California and stuff. Anyway, they're just constantly like traveling about and like meeting up in places and stuff. There's this really weird moment which I like genuinely don't know how to interpret. There's a few things that I like, is this problematic? Like, where is this coming from? But there's this moment, one of the times where they're on like a vacation for the band, and the band's like all on vacation together, and she comes and like visits them, and she's like up in their room, and she finds one of the other bandmates named Oliver. All the other bandmates are like so like inconsequential, like they're not important at all in the story, but he's like rifling through her shit, and she's like, huh, sus. And then I don't know if it's the same moment or if it's like a different moment, but he comes up behind her and like draws a finger across her bare back, and she's like, I knew what it meant, but I wasn't gonna tell Hayes about it because I didn't want to start a whole thing while I was there. And I was like, what did that mean? Like, what the fuck was that? Like, what? Like, what? Like, genuinely so confused. Also, like, never brought up again. Like, what was that about? So I want some resolution on that one, because I have no idea what that was going on. And like I said, the band members, like, they are like briefly given like what their type is, which is like very a la like One Direction, a la boy bands, is like they usually have like the cute one, the sensitive one, the bad boy, the whatever. And like Hayes is supposed to be like the sexy one, question mark, I think. But like the other ones have their types, but like they genuinely like are not important in the story. And then there's like, I just like, for the majority of this book, like half of this book, more than half of this book, Solène has kept her relationship with Hayes a secret, and like they have like almost said I love you. I mean, they are very, very close as people. Like, I think I am invested in this romance. Like, genuinely, I think I am a little bit invested. I keep trying to think of it like if there wasn't this age gap, like if she wasn't constantly reminding us of this age gap, like literally, like every freaking page, she's like, we're so perfect, except I'm 40 and he's 20. And like, it's every single page. So like, you will never forget about it when you're reading this book, because that's like her main thing. But like, other than that, like he is like very much like adores this woman, like, and she just like loves hanging out with her. I like don't think she's in love with him. I don't know. Like, I feel like that's more of like a attraction, but like not like a in love vibe. But like, who am I to judge? Who am I to say? But he like read a book for her, and like, have you ever gotten a man to read in your life? Like, let me, a 20-year-old man, like, tell me about it. What I was saying is she has kept this relationship with Hayes a secret from her daughter, and her daughter is like notoriously this huge August Moon fan. And it is so crazy the way this is revealed. I mean, not the way it's revealed, but like the sequence of events, the feelings and aftermath of this reveal is insane to me. So they go out to dinner, he's in town, they go out to dinner, and like she's very like, we're not gonna do any stuff. But one thing about Solène is that she doesn't give a shit. She doesn't give a shit. Like, she's very much like, she will say like, I don't want anyone to know we're together, I'm not gonna hold your hand in public, I'm not gonna do X, Y, and Z. And my cat's scratching her post. So like, go off, queen. But then she will like also invite him to an art gallery that she's like, art gallery party that she's throwing, and then like literally F him in her office. So like, where is the line? I don't know. He like drops her off at her house, and they're like smooching in the car, and her daughter wakes up and sees this, and she's like, how could he have chosen you over me? And that is the craziest sentiment I have ever heard. Like, it is so crazy. Like, this poor girl like has her little fantasies of her like being like marrying these guys and like you know, being in relationships with these guys in this boy band that she adores, and like, and her mom is literally doing like it's crazy. Like, I feel so bad for this girl. This girl like must have like she's gonna have trauma. Like, put this girl in therapy. Like, I feel so bad for her because her mom's fucking Harry Styles. But so that's crazy. And then she very much calls out, she's like, Mom, you're old. Like, he's 20. And like, that's the big thing. And then like her ex like gets involved, and then he drops a bombshell on her about like him impregnating someone and getting married. And the daughter like stops talking to the mom, like absolutely like incommunicado, and she like goes to her dad's house and then comes back and like still doesn't talk to her. And the way she decides to get her daughter to talk to her again is to get Hayes to come over and like talk to her. And it's so strange. And like, I feel for this little girl because she's just like, you're not a real person. We can't have this relationship. Like, you're like some regular guy that's dating my mom because I had posters of you on my wall. Like, it's not the same thing. Like, you're not just some guy. And it's just so crazy. Like, this whole situation, every time I'm reading this book, I'm just like, this is so crazy. Like, it's unbelievable, like, to the max, which I guess like makes sense because like, obviously, like, what the things that I have read in this book, the shit that I have been through. I'm still rooting for the relationship. That's like, at the end of the day, that's like where I'm at. So like, I'm over halfway done with the book. I don't know what else is gonna happen because I thought like the big bombshell would be like the daughter finding out, but we have a lot of the book to go. I guess it will be like them coming out as a couple, or maybe he keeps hinting that he might like quit the band, which might be like long hiatus vibes of One Direction, you know what I mean? So that could also happen, but I feel like that would be crazy if he quit the band for her. Like, my predictions so far are she also kind of like wants to quit her gallery and like her life, and I feel like in this fantasy world she will like quit her gallery or open like a much bigger gallery, but she's like not having to work. Like, her whole thing is that she's a gallery owner. Have I mentioned this? Like, she's French and she's a gallery owner. That's her whole thing. She loves art. Well, I don't know if I mentioned this. There's 2 parts to this book. Ready? It's Solène, gallery, art, home life, that part, and then there's just pure sex. Like, those are the 2 parts of this book, and it oscillates. It goes back and forth. It's 50-50 for this book. Anyway, I think she's gonna like take some hands-off roles and like so that she can either go touring with him, or he's gonna quit the band, or he's gonna break up the band, which I think would be crazy. But I could see it happening. I could see it happening, but it would also devastate the daughter, and I feel like the daughter would be like, no girl, no. So I'm not sure. But I also really want to see some resolution with the other band member and him like seductively touching seductively touching Solène. I want to know what the fuck that was about because it wasn't mentioned. There's also some weird, like, they have some, like, Solène and Hayes have this weird, like, back and forth about, like, condom usage. And it was this whole big conversation because like Solène's like uncomfortable by the fact that like he might be able to have other partners, and she's like, because he's on the road all the time and they don't see each other all the time. And so she's very much like pro protection, which is like aces, but like he's like, you're on the pill, and then he kind of like doesn't care. And I feel like it's a little problematic. Like, this is the only thing that I feel is like a red flag for his character, is that he's like, he's not anti-protection, but he is pro no protection. Which I think is just interesting. That's the book so far. I can't believe this is gonna be a movie. I can't believe it. I can't believe someone made this a movie. What's new in the idea of you? Let me tell you, my hair's stuck. Okay. I have been crocheting this scarf. It's really fucking long. I made it really long so it can go around my head like a bunch of times and like I can keep warm. So it's gonna be a rainbow, but it's not at the moment because gay. Anyway, basically what has happened is they had basically like a This Is Us style documentary happen. They went to a premiere, and basically this is like when the girlies went official, and they were stepping out. They were being a couple in public. And this seems to be like, this is the climax of the book. Like, this is the line in the sand. This is the moment for them. So like, this is where everything's going to shit, because listen, I'm not saying like I want to be a celebrity and like have my personal life invaded or anything. Like, that sounds disgusting, but like to a certain extent, you know what you're getting yourself into, right? Anyway, all this stuff happens. They go to the premiere. There's lots of sex. I just feel like that goes without saying. Oh, they finally addressed like the Oliver thing. Kind of. Basically, he kind of like hit on Solène, and he was like, I'll have you after you realize he's not worth it. And I was like, what? And so basically they're like competitive, like brothers, and he wants to hurt Hayes. I don't really understand it. But also Solène hit on, or no, she didn't really hit on him, but she was hit on but she's getting hit on everyone. Like this woman is like the most attractive 40-year-old woman. And I'm not saying like when you're 40 you're not attractive, but like this is the hottest bitch because she's getting hit on by everyone. Anyway, she's got hit on by Hayes' father, daddy, in the elevator at the premiere, and then they found out at the premiere that was his father. Oh, it was insane. It was insane. You had to be there. So she is not dealing with her celebrity, so they went on like a cute little like getaway vacation, as they do, and they like had sex on a boat and it got like caught on video or on camera or whatever, and that like went out everywhere. And so that's like the new big thing that's going on right now, is like basically everyone is calling her like a slut and a whore, and everyone is like really upset at her. All the fans are like harassing her at work and all this stuff. And what's really interesting is like her freaking ex-husband is insane. Like this man is like, I mean, he's right. He is right. Like every time they're like, oh, we were being so safe, we were being so cautious, we weren't gonna get like, no one was gonna know. And it's like, no, you weren't being safe. You were on a freaking boat in the middle of the ocean. You were out in public in front of people. Like, I don't know what you're doing. You're literally like fucking each other in the middle, like in front of everyone. Like, I just don't know what you're doing. The father's like, literally, think about how this is gonna affect your child. Your child. Like, your fame when you break up, when he dates someone else. Like, think about how that's gonna affect your child, because like, you are not thinking about your child a day in your life. Like, honestly, like, I don't, Selene, do I think she's a bad mom? A little bit. A little bit. And she's just struggling. So she's sister struggling right now. And they keep having these like future discussions of like Hayes kind of being like, I'm 20, but like maybe like let's have a baby and get married. Like, so it's kind of like, I'm not even saying I love you. Like, I'm distancing myself from the situation. And I just feel like this boy is so in love with her. Or maybe, I don't know. I think he genuinely is like in love with her. And she's just like, so, see, I don't want them to be in love. The cynic in me is like, I just don't want them to be happy. But I do, to a certain extent. I just don't see it being possible in this reality, in the reality of life. I'm gonna keep knitting my scarf, or crocheting my scarf. I'm not knitting, I'm crocheting. And we'll see what happens. I'm kind of rooting for them, but also kind of not. So, I have finished The Idea of You, and I'm here to tell you my final thoughts. Okay, let's... Okay, so things escalated with the fame, I guess, of Selene, and she was like very much not having it. Like, people were sending stuff to her home, they were harassing her at work, they like graffitied her job and stuff. But like the main thing is it started affecting her daughter, and like her daughter is everything to her. She is mom of the year. I know I just like complained about her being a bad mom, but I think like she does like redeem her actions by the end for being a good mom, because her daughter's like, everyone's talking about you and this guy, and it's really affecting me, and I'm like, send the kid to therapy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not bad. Keep living your best life. But okay, so that's when Selene's like, I need to cut it out. I need to stop dating this 20-year-old. And it's like tearing my family apart. And so she goes on this last trip to Tokyo, and she like knows, like they both know, they're like, it's over, ski. And it is like, it's heartbreaking. Like, it's a little bit, like, I don't know if it's like just the fact that I'm on my period right now, or if it's like, this is like a good book. Because she like breaks up with him, essentially. And he's like devastated. And he's like, please no, and he's like crying and all this stuff. But like, that was really sad. That was really sad to me. But then what was even more sad is like, she's like now like brokenhearted, like she's unable to like go about her life because she's like so fucking depressed. And her daughter comes to her crying in her bed and is like, this is my fault. Like, I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough for you. And I was like, literally, girl. I was like, not the 13-year-old, no. Oh my God. And that was really sweet. I honestly like favorite moment of the book. Like, that was really good. But then like he shows up at her door and is like, I quit the band, and like, I just want to be with you. And then they like have sex a few times, and she's like, no, you gots to go. You gots to get out of here. And he joins back the band, and she's like, I don't know, she lives her life. And that's the end of the book. The whole like idea of you is like, she tells him in order to like push him away and like make him stop loving her, I guess. I don't know. She's like, I only love the idea of you. And he goes, you're lying. I'm sorry. This book is like narrated by the author, and like I'm not saying that she did a bad job, but like she's like he's so choked up, and he's like, "You're lying." And it's just, it was crazy. I just want to know like what the people like thought I was listening to as I was doing my walks listening to this book, because like this was crazy. Maybe they heard it. Maybe they heard what was going on. Maybe they did. But I don't know what to rate this book. I don't think I'm gonna rate it just because it's like I don't really rate fan fiction. I don't read fan fiction that much. I think I need to get into it. I think I need to stop reading books and only read fan fiction, because this was such a wild, fun ride. I just feel like all the rules get just like thrown out the window in fan fiction, and it like is such a more like fun, unique experience. I don't know. That's like my experience reading fan fiction. Like everything that I've read in fan fiction like could not have really been done in a published book. And like that's why I feel like this book was like, it was crazy. It probably wasn't very good. Like it was cringy and like uncomfortable, and like there was too much sex, but like was it a bad book? Like no, not really. Like it was fine. It was good fan fiction. I feel like moms would love this book. A mom, oh, if you're a mom, you would eat this up. You would eat this up, because like it is so mom core. Like all of her thoughts and feelings, like she is mom, she is a mother, everything about her is just like mom. And I also feel like it was a little bit self-inserty of the author, because there's this like part where like Solène is just talking about how like culture like just hates on things that women and girls like, and like boy bands and art and just anything that women and girls like, they just automatically think is bad. And I was just like, word. Actually, that's the most correct thing you've said in this book. Yes. Oh, and the Ollie thing did eventually resolve itself. Basically, he was just mad that Hayes screwed his sister at some point and didn't tell him. That was kind of the main thing. I don't know why it made him like harass Solène, but that's neither here nor there. That's me reading this book. I read it. I am actually really excited to see the movie. I think it will be really great. It's got a great cast, and I just think it will be fun. It's crazy and funny. Not funny. I just thought it was funny. And I'm really excited to watch it. So let me know if you're excited for the movie, if you're gonna watch it when it comes out. This should be going up when it comes out. Yeah, if there are any other book to movie things that are coming out that you want me to read the book and let you know if it's worth reading, it's probably not, but I will do that. So with that being said, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to all the things, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.